are you doing on this lovely Monday? Hope you're doing really well. As you can see, I have been delightfully invited back to Crafting with All the Brands, and today I'm going to do a bit of canvas work. Yeah, I think so. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you've been getting back to some sort of normality. All of us have. I have obviously been self-isolating at home, so absolutely brilliant. I am back this Thursday at Create and Craft, if you watch it. And I will be highlighting and bringing my very own Imala stamps. Hi Louise, hope you're doing really well. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using one of my Imala stamps. It's from her older collection. This, I do believe, was chapter 4. Is it 4 or 5? It's the elephant that we are going to be using today. So, hope everyone is excited about, obviously, summer is, well, summer's supposed to be here, but I think we're going to have a bit of an Indian summer. I think they're saying that it's going to be much more sort of hotter later in the year, really, I think. So I think that's what's going to happen. Right, so if you watched me last time, I did do a canvas, didn't I? I done two. I done two different canvases. Hi everyone. Oh, I can't wait to see today's creation. So I've just got 5x7 flat canvas. You can buy these wherever. These are my favourite, absolutely beautiful. Whether you want to use it as a focal point or whether you want to take this over into transition into card making, if you want to do it into scrapbooking, absolutely beautiful. Hi Laurie from Canada, hope you're doing really well today. So let's start. I'll turn you over and you can see exactly what I'm up to. So I'm using my Eureka purely because I love it, and it's huge platform, so it's absolutely perfect. So the stamp that I'm going to be using today is this one. This is the elephant stamp, absolutely gorgeous. And this Thursday I will be bringing the brand new chapter 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this clean onto my canvas, but I'm going to be using some embossing powder. So first things first, I'm going to pick it up. There we go, just pick it up. My Eureka does need a good old clean. Must do that. Okay, so I'm just adding letter ink over the top, but obviously you can use whatever you prefer. Now, I do suggest that you don't go straight and run into this project. Once you've stamped it, always double check, because it may need a little bit more ink, especially when it's a big size stamp like this. So I'm going to bring this over, just tap down using your fingers, go all the way round. Let's have a look how she is. She's not too bad, but I think she needs a bit more just on the centre panel, definitely. So really try and get as much on there as you can. Now I'm just going to stand up and just apply a tiny bit more pressure to this. There we go. So all the way round. Thank you so much to everyone that joined me to my last live that I did. Let's have a look. Is that bit? It's getting there. I just need a little bit more. Do you know what? I think it's because I'm coming to the end of my ink pad. I really do, but I try not to open the next one until I've squeezed every drop of ink out of my pad. Let's have a look. A bit more. Sometimes it just needs that extra little squeeze. Tiny bit more down there, just on that trunk bit. And you can, even though it's transparent ink, you can see where you've been. So it's always better to make sure that it is covered. Right. So now I'm going to go over to my embossing. Now I'm using Tidy Tray. These are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm using white embossing powder. Now I'm using Lisa's. I'm just going to pick that up, make sure all that side area is covered too. And again, I'll just pour a bit more in there. Shake off the excess. process. Lovely. So now I'm just going to heat set this, then we can start painting. So as you can see, this is white embossing powder that I'm using on a white canvas, but then we can paint after and create all the beautiful styles and techniques of layers. So we'll just wait for that to start turning. Hold on a minute, I just need to speak to my son. Yes, Sid? Hold on, darling, Mummy's doing a video. So I'm just carry on heating this. Now these make great little gifts. They also make fabulous little calendars as well. And you can see already it's starting to emboss beautifully. Now with this beautiful elephant, you will notice there's quite a bit of detail on it. So because of that, I do tend to be a bit slower in embossing it, because I just want to make sure every single bit is done. Perfect. There we go. So now we can start to do the fun bit, which is the painting. So I've just taken watercolour. I've got a mixture in here. I've got Himi oil pastels. I've got Himi silky crayons in here. I've also got watercolour concentrates as well, so a bit of a mixture and a bit of a rainbow array of colours. So, and of course my trusty paintbrush and some water. So first things first, I'm just going to have a little look at this. I'm going to add a bit of water to my grey. Now this grey is very quite wishy, but that's perfect for what I want today. So I'm just going right into that corner to pick up more of that colour, and we shall start painting. Now when you are doing canvas work and you are using watercolour, you can either do it two different ways. You can add water to that area, or you can add colour and then blend it out with the water. So depending on sort of, you know, what you prefer really. So I'm just going to go around the edge, tiny little bit of colour. You really don't need very much. And I'm just going to push it through that embossing just to pick up on that beautiful colour. There we go. So as you can see, my brush is quite dry. I don't want it too wet yet, because otherwise if it's too wet now, we're not going to have enough to blend. So just pulling out then areas of colour. Another great way of painting, people say to me, how do you paint this, how do you paint that? Now the truth is, when you are painting anything, it's always a good now I'm adding water here, can you see that? I'm adding water to blend that out. The truth is, if you try to paint it in the direction you see it, so it sounds a bit crazy, but if you're doing something that's circle, go around. It just makes it so much easier. So now I'm just using that water just to pull that colour in. Nice and easy. Just make sure I've got enough dark at the edges. So that's the bridge of the nose. Hi Sid. Oh, my son's decided to join us. Are you okay, sweetheart?
I just need
A bit of sellotape. This is what my boy just constantly asks me for, so we'll give him a bit of low tack tape. There we go, Sid. Thanks, Mum. Boy, Mum. Right, he's off to, well, I don't know what he's doing. I'm sure he's creating something wonderful. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that grey again. Oh dear, look at that. I don't want that at all. You can get right out. There we go. So again, just keep building up that colour till you're happy with it. And then we'll just pull it out with the water. So it's closest to the edges are your darker areas. Now another thing with the Imala stamps, what we always do is we've done all the shade work for you included in the stamp design. So all you need to do is mirror that with your colour choices. Nice and easy. Right, I'm just going to heat set that just to see, because obviously watercolour, I want to make sure it's not too pale before I go on to my next piece. Right, so I'm going to go back into that grey. And you can see there's a tiny bit of colour. It just needs to come over a bit darker. That's why it's always a good idea to do it in layers and dry your layers as you go, because it just makes it so much more simpler when you're trying to create this. So now I'm just picking up a tiny little bit of brown, and all I'm doing is following that line. I'm not colouring it completely. And then water to blend that colour away. Yes, Sydney? You need a bit more tape, right. I can't give him the whole roll of tape because otherwise he uses it all, don't you, Sid? Yeah. Yeah, I know you use the whole entire thing, so because of that, I have to make sure he only gets certain amounts, otherwise he will use it all. So again, I'm just going along the edges to silhouette that design. There we go. Lovely. So now we're going to come up here and start doing some more of the floral crown that she is wearing. Look at this, isn't it fab? So I'm going to add a bit of green first of all. I think I'm going to go in a darker green. This is more of a tealy green. And add a bit of water to this. I'll bring my palette there, you can see. There we go. It's a much more sort of bottle teal green. And again, I'm going on dry. And I'm just doing the centre of the leaves. Let's have a look. There we go. Don't worry if you come off slightly. I'm going in my lighter green. Picking that up. And we are just blending that colour. See that? So what I tend to do is I rotate my canvas as it goes around, a bit like a cake if you was icing it, for instance, because then it stops you leaning on your project, because that's the worst. If you lean on your project and you're nearly done and then you get a big old dirty fingerprint on it, not good. let's check. Yep, just make sure that detail's really showing. Lovely. So now I'm going to go into the pink. Oh, it's like a pinky purple really. And I'm just going to first of all just highlight a little bit of central colour. And I'm going to go in with the water. Just building that up. Hi Sid.
I just need a little bit.
Oh, a little bit more tape. There we go. Okay, got it? Good boy. Okay, so back in to the purple. It's like a sort of fuchsia purple. Going in a bit deeper this time. And with this one, look what I'm doing, I'm just popping it in the puddles. Can you see that? Just exaggerate that a little. Up there. And then we're going to come down here now. Water. Like so. So already it's coming together. I'm just going to heat set some of this colour. Now, can you see how I'm drying this? Because I've got pools of colour inside my actual emboss. The best way to do is dry, take it away, dry, take it away. The reason being is because then it stops it flying out of the embossing. But I want them pools of colour to dry as they are, so I don't want to push that colour anywhere. So you just dry, take it away. Let's have some fun with this background. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of water here and there, just around the areas that we want the background in. So now I'm going to go in yellow first of all. I'm just tapping it in. I'm just using a chisel brush. Nothing exciting. Tap, tap, tap. Add in a bit of colour. Okay. So now I'm going to go into blue. Make a bit of a wash up. And then I'm just going to add it just a little tad around those layers. So now we just bring that across there. Just a little splash in there. Here. See how it travels with the water as well. So now I'm going to add some more water and just fill in those areas. So we're just going around the project. Blend out some of that colour. It's just a tad heavy. There we go. And come down here. Beautiful. just allow them colours to beautifully, naturally blend together. And then we'll give it a bit of a tilt. And I'm going to come in with some pink. I'm going to just weigh up that colour. Can you see that? How we weigh it up? And because it won't run into the colour, because we've already got that embossing on there already, I'm just going to blend a bit of that away. Continue with that colour up there, a slight tad of that up. There we go. Then we're just going to heat set, dry some of this colour off. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to my embossing powders. I've got a few here that I'm going to be working with today. I've got the Shaded Lilac. It's one of my top favourite ones that I use actually. It's really, really lovely. So I'm just going to pick this up, and this is a Distress Oxide. So I just want a little bit of colour around the edge, not too much. Just a bit of a frame, but not too much, just a tad. Okay, then I'm going to pick up the blue. Just find my dauber for this. It's not the right dauber. Never mind. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to add a little bit of blue, just like I said, here and there. Bit of colour. And rather than wiping it on now, I'm pushing. So doing different techniques of different, with the same ink you can get a totally different style. So from here now, just going to just add a little bit of blue. There. Then I'm just going to take my fan brush, just going to give it a few little taps of water just over them areas where I've just inked, and this will take it to the next layer of inking. Because it's a Distress Oxide, it activates with the water, and then you'll get the base colour underneath coming through, which I just give it a second just to allow it to soak in. So while that's drying, what I've already done is I've pre-stamped just the floral areas, and I've already heat embossed them ready to go. So now I'm just going to be using my Himi oil pastels. I'm going to go in the pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm just using that oil just on the centre of each bloom, like so. And a little tad purple in the centre. And then using the heat from my finger from the centre, I'm just pulling it out. See that? So again, on this one, we're just pulling it out. I do love an oil pastel. I think they just give so many softer, beautiful blending. So you are happy with that. Excuse me. I'm just going to pull up my black crayon. This is my oil pastel. I'm just going to frame that edge. And again, using my finger, you can really get some good sort of vintage sort of style with this. I'm just going to pull it along, drag it out. I love that picks up the canvas texture. It brings that forward. Curve around your edge. Let's have a look. I'm going to just add these in. I just need to put my hands quickly. And I'm going to end up with this everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these ones in half. Then I'm going to sculpt them slightly. Nothing too major, just a little sculpt. 3D glue gel in the centre. Again, just you can use embossing tools or whatever you have yourself. Final one. So now I'm going to put my sentiment on. I was going to be using, I think, yeah, I will. I'm just going to rip this in half. This is just some I've stenciled white gesso over a stencil onto some book paper, and I'm just simply going to add some layers of this. One bit at the top here. Just grab some white glue. This off in a second. Now we have a little bit here. Like that. And then just a tad down here. I'm just going to cut that excess off. Perfect. Just going to grab some of that colour already and then just blend that in, and then layers nice and easy. There we go. So now I'm just going to add my sentiment to this, which is Dreamer of Dreams, and I'm just going to go around the edge slightly, just with what was left on my finger from previously. So now I'm just going to pop this. Let's have a look. Where should it be? Oh, I like it there. Yep, we go in there. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of wet glue. Again, just up there. And I just pop that on there. How are we doing? You're right. It is a beautiful stamp, isn't it? So there we go. There is that absolutely stunning elephant. I hope you've enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me this afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting me back. If you would like to win this as well, pop your name in the comments or just comment and I will pick a winner on Wednesday. Thanks again for having me, friends. You take care of yourself and of each other, and I will speak to you soon. See you later. Thank you. Bye.